Most monsters are just stories, but some leave physical evidence, some leave police reports, and some leave a voice recording that's impossible to fake. Today, we're looking at 7 obscure cryptids backed by terrifying eyewitness testimony, including a Class A sighting caught on a 911 call that you need to hear to believe. Let's enter the unknown.
What the fuck?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
We start with a modern nightmare that is being reported across the entire Appalachian Range and the Midwest. Unlike other cryptids that are local to one town, the pale crawler has been seen everywhere. Witnesses, from hunters in Kentucky to hikers in Ontario, are describing the exact same biological impossibility. A creature that is shockingly pale, almost translucent, and emaciated, as if it has been starved for centuries. It doesn't walk, it prowls on all fours with backward bending joints. The terrifying consistency in these reports isn't just the appearance, it's the silence that comes before it. The woods go dead quiet. No crickets, no wind, just the sound of something wet slapping against the pavement. April 1977. Dover, Massachusetts. This wasn't a case of mass hysteria. It was 3 separate sightings by teenagers who didn't know each other at all within a 25-hour window. They described seeing something perched on a stone wall on Farm Street, a location known for its winding, unlit roads. The creature had no mouth, no nose, and no ears, just a massive, watermelon-shaped head on a small, monkey-like body. But the detail that haunts the witnesses to this very day were the eyes. 2 large, glowing orange orbs that reflected the headlights with an intelligence that didn't belong to any animal known to science. It was hunting. It was watching. On a humid night in July 2021, a truck driver was navigating Route 210 in Pender County, North Carolina. If you know this road, you know it's pitch black, surrounded by dense swampland and forest. The driver was tired. He wasn't hallucinating. First, he saw a man dressed in old Civil War attire, a pale face and blood running down his torso, coming from what looked like a wound on his head. He then immediately called the dispatcher at the Pender County Sheriff's Office, was describing the man covered with blood that was staring at him from the side of the road. Suddenly, you can hear a bang from outside the truck. The man, or T as he wants to be called, switched on his lights that illuminate the bed of his truck and suddenly saw a pale crawler. This is what's known as a Class A sighting, where the witness sees the creature clearly, in full detail. But rather than me describing the terror, listen to the actual dispatch call to the Pender County Sheriff's Office. Listen to the genuine tremble in his voice.
Pender County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm driving on 210. I just crossed the Black River, and I thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding.
Okay, where are you at, sir?
I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53 East. I just passed Patriots Watch.
Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek?
Yes.
Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road?
Yes, ma'am, and it looked like he was bleeding because when I drove by, I had my high beams on, and all I could see was just some streaks of red going down his body, starting at his head.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get exactly where you're at. Okay.
I'm kind of in the middle of the woods at the moment.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with the area.
What the fuck?
What was that, sir?
That's not human! That's not human!
Sir, are you okay, sir?
There's something in the bed of my truck!
Okay, what's in the road?
No, it's not in the road, it's in my truck! In the bed!
There's something in the bed of your truck?
Yes, ma'am, I just turned on my bed lights for my truck and there's something in my bed.
Okay, so when you say something, what do you mean?
I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof.
Okay, what was it?
I don't know.
Like a turkey, a deer?
No.
Turkeys are pretty
I don't know what the
big.
hell that was. That wasn't a turkey because I was driving 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
The turkey doesn't hit that hard and it was not covered in feathers at all.
Okay, all right, sir. What do you think it was?
I have no idea what the hell that was. And it just scared the absolute hell out of me, and I just knocked it off of my truck when I slammed on the brake.
I'm sure you did, sir. I mean, I would be scared, too. I'm just trying to think is there any damage to your vehicle?
I don't know, but I'm waiting until I get further away.
Okay, sir.
That is the sound of a man trying to rationalize the irrational. A tall, dark figure that was clearly not human. We often think of cryptids as having arms and legs, but the deep woods of Kinderhook, New York, had something far more alien. In the 1980s, witnesses described an encounter that defies biological logic. They didn't see a wolf or an ape. They saw a floating, white, amorphous shape. It hovered through the trees, maneuvering with an aggression that suggested it was hunting. The most disturbing detail, it made a high-pitched whistling noise before it charged. This wasn't a ghost. Witnesses insisted it was physical, biological entity that seemed to shift its mass as it moved. It remains one of the most unsettling and unexplained encounters in New York history. Elkhorn, Wisconsin. A landscape of endless cornfields and isolated farm roads. In the early 90s, this quiet rural community was gripped by fear. Drivers on Bray Road began reporting a creature that looked like it walked straight out of a werewolf movie. But this wasn't Hollywood. Witnesses described the smell first, the stench of rotting meat. Then they saw a muscular, wolf-like humanoid, sometimes on 4 legs, sometimes standing on 2, eating roadkill on the side of the highway. When headlights hit it, it didn't run away. It stood up, it looked at them, and it waited. This aggression is what separates Bray Road from the typical folklore. In 1973, the small town of Enfield, Illinois, become the center of a media firestorm. It started when a man named Henry McDaniel heard a scratching sound at his door. Expecting a stray dog, he opened it to find a nightmare. He described a creature with grayish, slimy skin, short arms ending in claws, and huge pink eyes. But the detail that makes this case technically fascinating is the anatomy. It had 3 legs, a tripod structure. Biology like that doesn't exist on Earth. McDaniel fired 4 shots at it. The creature didn't bleed. It hissed like a wildcat and leaped 50 feet in a single bound, disappearing into the dark. We end with the grandfather of high strangeness. September 12th, 1952. Flatwoods, West Virginia. After seeing a bright object streak across the sky and crash into the hills, a group of locals went to investigate. They didn't find debris. They found a mist that burned their eyes and noses. And in that mist, standing next to an oak tree, was a 10-foot tall figure with a spade-shaped head and a dark, skirt-like lower body. It hissed and glided towards them, causing the group to flee in terror. The next day, investigators found skid marks and a lingering metallic smell. To this day, the Flatwoods monster remains one of the most credible close encounters of the 20th century. These aren't just campfire stories. These are reports from police officers, truck drivers, and families who saw something they can't explain. Which one of those unnerves you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you have seen something in the woods, tell me your story. And remember, they're out there.